son of a b- TEPPEN World Championship 2020. When you think about the upcoming event, which decks do you think about? Do you think about the decks that beat you on the ladder? The Akumas, the Weskers, the Amaterasus? There's certainly the heroes that are typically seen at the top of tier lists for the current meta. The TEPPEN community has been trying to predict the heroes that will show up at Worlds. And though Akuma, Wesker, and Amaterasu are on the radar, a recent breakthrough has proposed a question. Is Jill Valentine a contender for the TEPPEN World Championship 2020? Last month, a Japanese player by the name of ViruS achieved an unprecedented rating, 2261 points. If you follow ViruS on Twitter, you might have seen some impressive screenshots featuring Jill. Being a Jill main myself, I was blown away. In previous metas, no matter how strong new cards were for Jill, she never seemed to break into the top tier status. Players, including myself, have achieved top 100 status with Jill through hard work and tight plays, but it never caught on as well as it has lately. ViruS achieving 2200 points gave players inspiration to climb the ladder with Jill, especially once ViruS's deck showed up on the TEPPEN channel. I think it showed up on 3 of 5 matches on one day. It's undeniably influential when you see how most Jills on the ladder use nearly the same list as ViruS. So what makes this deck so special? This deck features 6 Explorer units, which is incredibly low for an antibody deck. However, this is a safe number due to the amount of cheap actions that can be played to look for your Explorers. Also, there's a new type of card to aid Jill's early game, an Explore action. In the past, Jill sometimes had difficulty reaching 3 Explorers without using a Bushinryu Awakening, which requires an Explorer unit to be present. This is also something that can be denied. Carlos has high attack for a 4 MP unit and provides an invaluable resource to red players, Shield. Hellbat is a staple card for Jill. The 1 HP discourages players from using big resources on it, and 2 damage each round adds up over time if not answered. Oh, and then there's the detonation. 6 damage for 2 MP is unbeatable. Trust Amid Suspicion is a card that returns to the meta for this deck. 4 damage for 2 MP is great value, and the additional effect can be used to detriment the enemy. In the event of a full pocket, 1 card will move from the opponent's deck into the graveyard. In some cases, this can force cards out of the opponent's hand at inopportune times. Molsters is the first viable Explore action from the latest card set, the Tale of Amatsu no Kuni. In the current meta, if you're monocolor, you wait until 10 MP at the beginning, and especially against red, you don't want to play the first unit. Having a Molsters in hand means you can explore without playing the first unit, and force the opponent to play a unit or lose mana advantage. Even if the opponent still refuses to play the first unit, you can play the Lil Moly for minimal investment. Lil Moly also makes for a good unit to ascend with. Sun Goddess is not a card to be discounted, as it can help you win the board with little effort. Antibody Activation is a deck that vies to control the whole board, so this is a logical choice. Use this to deny Amaterasu from establishing the board. Great Roggy is an interesting card that counters all the small pokes that Amaterasu's cards deliver. Each hit only makes it stronger. Ash has high HP, great attack, and combo. If not sealed or reset, it will deal substantial damage. There's a reason most black players will save a Fate of the Unworthy for this. Claire Redfield is unreactable damage. If used as a perfect block, you can squeeze 9 damage in an instant, or 10 if you use antibody activation on it. Veteran Agent Leon is an effective way to clear a huge threat or a bunch of small threats, awarding you burn damage for every kill when he is present. This deck can go up to 20 memories, so 20 spread damage is incredibly strong. Trump card allows you to play a legendary for free, essentially. For example, if you force your opponent to play a heavy destroy and it leaves them with low MP, you can respond with Trump card and Fate Defying Ryu, topping it with a State of Nothingness for lethal damage. It requires a specific hand, but its effectiveness is undeniable. Yukimura is a menace, especially in the mirror, since he can only be damaged one at a time. Antibody activation will give him time to attack 2 more times, assuming that he's blocked. Agent's Memories is somewhere between a memory builder and a win con. 5 face damage for 2 MP is nothing to dismiss. Your opponent will sweat when their life is low against you. Axel can copy a win con for cheap. When facing a black deck, save it for Orochi. Even if it's removed, it'll take them more MP than it cost you. Liberating Slash might not be something that you throw anywhere to build memory, but it can be used to eliminate a heavy threat for cheap or heal yourself in a pinch. Chain of Fists starts at the same value as Trust Amid Suspicion, 2 damage for every 1 MP. It only gains power when used a second and third time. Fate Defying Ryu needs no introduction. He's been a staple inclusion since the beginning. The attacking clause happens before a trade, so he's difficult to damage after a few memory has been established. Legend Amaterasu is a cheap legendary that many people have to remove quickly, but if you're able to protect it and reach level 5 growth, she becomes a menace. State of Nothingness is a strong buff that counts as a win con. A Lil Moly may have 2 attack, but at the end of the game, when your memory can be as high as 19, a State of Nothingness can present lethal damage to an enemy. Even if it is answered, I've had Wesker players have to use an obliteration to remove a stated Little Moly. Magma Dragoon is an answer to purple decks that leave you board locked. He's an Ascension with high attack, shield, anti-air, and heavy pierce. It's hard to beat. ViruS's antibody activation deck uses a lot of actions to match the destroy heavy meta that we're faced with right now. However, knowing when to use these tools at the right time takes a player with acute awareness of the opponent's MP and potential resources. In other words, just throwing out your fate-defying Ryu when your MP hits 6 might not be a good idea, even if you have antibody activation to back him up. A lot more people have been trying Jill because of ViruS's accomplishment, because the deck can safely establish the 3 explorers needed for antibody. It alleviates some of the awkward slowness of Jill's early game. Small actions with decent damage mean they can be used to dance with Wesker and Akuma's selfish predations. Remember, keeping an opponent from gaining 7 life is just as good as dealing 7 damage to them. Jill is a character that has a strong potential for those who are skilled. Will we see Jill at Worlds? I think so. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Did this guide help you understand Jill? Until then, I'll see you guys next time. ViruS-san, お疲れ様でした。